Thank you very much, everyone, for taking out time and joining this webinar. My name is Amish Vyas. I am co-founder and CEO of AI for Pharma Tech Limited. We are a young startup company. We started 2 years back. And briefly, my background, I have been in pharma industry for more than 32 years now. Uh, I have been at a leadership position in various multinational and Indian companies like Baxter, Hikma, Claris, all these companies. And as a part of these responsibilities, I was based in US and Europe and India at different locations. And I came back to India in May 2024, and we started this company with a clear objective to help pharmaceutical companies in their quality, manufacturing, and cost reduction objectives. For all pharma companies, biggest focus is how can we ensure better quality compliance. At the same time, being mainly in the generic companies, how can we improve the efficiencies so that we can reduce the cost of the product and we can make the products more accessible to wider patient population. So with this objective, what we did was we started developing multiple AI-based SaaS products for pharmaceutical quality and manufacturing areas. We have now 6 products which we have developed and launched. Out of there, 4 products are oriented towards quality compliance. And if someone can share the slide so that I can, in the interest of the team, I can share these are the 6 products. So there are Batch Smart is the product which is for paper-based manual batch manufacturing record review system. Generally, people talk about EBMR, but there is no technological solution available which is using AI and digital technology to help companies who are on the paper-based manually filled BMR review system. And this really helps companies to identify errors and also do amazing analytics. APQR Smart, for which we will be discussing today. COS part is for the certificate of analysis review system and also identification of error and generation. Label Smart is for all products like labels, like product information leaflets, or even cartons. So any packaging material which is the biggest source of recalls, it uses AI and digital technology to identify any errors in any of this packaging material, which can avoid a lot of recalls. At the same time, we have 2 regulatory intelligence related products called Chat GMP and Chat Orange. Basically, it is completely login based where you get hundreds and thousands of citations and 483s and warning letters information, which is on the FDA website, but it is in a cluttered manner. We give in a very, very user-friendly manner, which can really help companies to manage it better. And Chat Orange is for the portfolio manager. One of the products which right now we are working is called Batch Excel, which is for the efficiency improvement of the manufacturing facilities based on the BMR reviews and analysis. So these are our complete platform of product suite, which is helping companies on the quality, manufacturing efficiency, and cost reduction. So with this background, let us dive into APQR Smart. So basically, when we started interacting companies, one of the things which we realized is that APQR is a major activity which every pharma company has to undergo. Any regulatory authority which comes and for the inspection, one of the things they first pick up is the APQR reports. Let's keep it right now on the main screen of the APQR. Let's not jump on that. And therefore, and one of the things which we realize is that there is thousands of man hour being used for preparation of the APQR. And the biggest issue where we see is that, first of all, not only manpower requirement and the number of hours being used, but also there are many potentiality of human errors while preparing the APQR reports. And also, sometimes regulatory authorities see APQR report as generally companies prepare as a data dump, right? All the batches are put up and all the information is put up, but there is not a lot of trending analysis which is being done, which is what regulatory authorities are interested to understand from the APQR report. So our effort has been twofold. First is, of course, how can we help companies save hundreds and thousands of man hours in preparation of the APQR report. Second is, of course, how can we reduce human error, um, and therefore by reducing human error, make it more precise, accurate, and having trending and the projections of how the product is in complete control or not. So this has been the two broad objectives: saving time, and second is that increasing the accuracy and the quality of the APQR reports. And as companies' operations increase, there are more and more SKUs which are being manufactured at different manufacturing facilities, and there is a limit to which people can keep on hiring quality personnel to generate APQR reports. And every time person leaves, your knowledge also goes away with the person. Uh, Having a APQR Smart kind of a digital AI-enabled tool, it also ensures that your knowledge base is safeguarded, and consistency of the APQR report is ensured uh, across all products, across all sites, despite the change of people and personnel. So with this background, as you can see, this is our landing page of APQR Smart. So on the left-hand side, you can see basically there are 4 stages of APQR Smart software. If, let's say, one of you decides to give us an opportunity to uh, install and deploy APQR Smart at your organization, there are some activities which are only one-time activity at an organization level. You have to do it, and there are other activities are during the time when you are generating a APQR report. So that's where you see there are basically 4 broad categories of the APQR Smart software is there. First is the configuration stage, which is only one time in your life in the organization. You do that unless there is some changes you require to do it. So that is not a ongoing activity. Second is the input phase. Obviously, every time you want to generate APQR, you need to input a lot of data points across various departments and functions. So that is the input phase. Third is the review phase. If at all you want to review the analytics of all the data you have inputted there. So that is the review phase. And finally, which is the APQR report generation phase. So these are the 4 phases. And before I dive into different phases, let us take you through how the APQR Smart generated APQR report looks like. Now, please look at this APQR report with a pinch of salt, because we have tried to create a dummy assuming multiple scenarios, but your organization may have a different kind of a format. It may not be as long, it may not be as, let's say, intense as we are showing it, because here we have tried to incorporate all the various scenarios which we could think of. So basically, of course, it starts with the table of content, as you can see, uh, and this is what. And before I go forward, just to let you know, I'm sure all of you are involved into the APQR report generation, and as I am told that after having all the data in your system, whether it is Minitab or whether it is in Excel sheet or where everyone has already supplied you the data, it takes anywhere between 10 to 15 days to generate one APQR report, because you have to import the data points, uh, you have to generate the graphs, you have to generate various CPK and CPP and other values. You have to generate a trending analysis and other insights or interpretations of all the data points we have added. And therefore, as I understand that it takes anywhere between 10 to 15 days and sometimes more for every APQR report to be generated, even after having all the data received from respective departments. If you see end to end, it takes, as I understand, almost 6 to 8 weeks time and sometimes even more. So one thing which I want to say is that once you have all the data points in APQR Smart, generating APQR report is less than 3 minutes. So that is the first and foremost thing. Of course, once you generate, you may want to see and review these little bit where you want to focus. But since you have configured the reports earlier, you don't have to go through that again in detail because you have already configured well. So this is something which is the first and foremost advantage of APQR Smart, that on a click of a button you can generate the APQR report, and it will take, as I told you, as per our analysis, it is 3 minutes or less, and that is the biggest time saving which we are having only in generating the APQR report. Not assuming that your data inputs and everything we are even economizing. Right now, we are assuming it is the same process. You are sending emails to your various departments. They are sending you Excel sheets and everything. And then we start generating the APQR report, whether through Minitab or through any other Excel formula. So this is what the report looks like, and my colleague will quickly scan through the report. So why don't you uh, scan through the report just to show. So these are all the sections. Of course, we have taken all the sections, but it depends on how many sections you want to incorporate there. And then, as we understand, right? So it will start going through each and every function, all the batches information from BMR. You have extracted all the data, so that is being mentioned. All the graphs which are automatically generated, including any of the Nelson rules which are breaking, it is highlighted, and so on and so forth. There will be also AI supported insights which are generated for any of the section which you are having. So, for example, you have all these batches data, and then you have a graph, and then if you want to show that what are the AI enabled insights, right? Because this is the most important aspect which we have understood, that that's where the real capability and expertise are required. And many times it is in a short supply, and therefore, if you have a shortage situation, then you end up delaying because there is some kind of a uh, analytics which has to be done, any insights to be generated, any inference to be. So these are the batches. These are all everything. Let me tell you, since you have configured once, on a click of button, everything is extracted and report is generated. Why don't you go up? Like this is the Nelson rule. Different Nelson rules you can select, and we'll not spend too much time here. You are all aware about how your APQR report looks like. But you can imagine that your APQR report will be identical every time you are generating, irrespective of how people are moving, their explanations, their structure, everything is identical, month on month, product by product, everywhere. Can we also go through any of the insights which have been generated by AI, which the attendees would be interested to see how AI helps us generate some of the insights which we are having, and which really helps companies to save time on that, because I'm sure after understanding all the data points in the Excel or any other places, you want to review that and then you want to generate the AI summary. So this is what something which is very helpful to use the AI here, where you can start generating the insights. So let's say if you talk about any of the batch manufacturing summary or critical quality attributes, let's say that is the section where you have generated lot of data, you have input lot of data, and you have to just click the AI summary. And what it does is that, it will generate this kind of insights. It will go through, it will scan through all the data points, and it will show the insights. Can we stay on the insights? Let's not keep on jumping on different pages. Please remain on the insight. Generate AI summary. Yeah. Yeah. So as you see, this insight was completely generated by the AI, and it gives you all the analytics. And then obviously, as a quality person, you can modify, you can change, etc. But at least the foundation is already available. So this is the APQR report you generate. And similarly, you also generate APQR discrepancy report and also annual report. For example, you have to submit some of the changes which are which are required to be updated to the regulatory authorities like FDA or MHRA or any other agencies. You don't have to create separate annual report. You have already submitted data into the whole APQR Smart. You just click a button and then the APQR report is also generated in the same amount of time, and which you can submit as per the timely manner. So this is the real output we are talking about. Now, I am taking you to the process part, right? So basically, here, one of the things what we have realized is that, let's say, if you have a Minitab, it is fine. You may not renew the Minitab because all the functionality of the Minitab is already incorporated in the system. If you are not having a Minitab, you don't have to struggle with the Excel sheets and everything, because on the left-hand side, if you see, there is a configuration stage. So basically, one time your senior quality team members or the head, they can decide the formula, right? So let's go to the configuration, and you can decide which statistical formula you are going to use it and which is that you want to use in your APQR report. So there are already pre-populated 35 formula is already there. Yeah, we can go to Nelson rule. No, we don't want to go. You can add any change formula. You can go to Nelson rules. You can select which are the rules you want to use it in the APQR. I know many times you may not be using these things because there may be Minitab or there is already some things which are structured. But here the functionality is there where you can structure once, and therefore you don't have to have any other tool which is required to be done. Third, we have already pre-populated parameters. All the parameters are pre-populated depending on the delivery system, whether it is a capsule, tablet, injectable. So there are almost 140 parameters are there, and you can create a master for every delivery system. And therefore, you have a only central software which can be formulated for capsules, injectables, ampoules, vials, whatever you want to do it. And last but not the least, what you do is you configure your products, right? So depending on which product you want to keep it, you configure your product once in terms of all the parameters you want to incorporate. And this is the one-time exercise. You decide, right, that okay, for my essay, I want to use these sources, and these are the formula I want to use. For my yield, I want to use this formula. Which are the Nelson rules you want to select. And once this is set up, this is one time in an organization you do it, right? And once that is done, you assume that this is done for all your products in the system. And once it is done, what happens is that now your normal process which you are following, you have to input the data in the system. For example, there is an anniversary date which is coming up. Now, every company may have a different process. As I understand, most of the companies will trigger the APQR generation process when the anniversary date comes near. And it is a once in a year exercise. So what you do is that, or you can also have a weekly or a monthly updation also on the data. So what you do is that, let's say you import a data. So there are two places you import a data. Yeah. So so the process will happen that APQR person will send email to every department. So this is multiple steps are avoided in this solution. where, as I understand, APQR generation or generating person sends emails to everyone that, look, please send me relevant data to us. And then maybe after a few follow-ups, they collect all the data and then they send in Excel sheet or whatever format or Word or anything, they do it. Now, what happens is that, Sheetal, why don't you hold it till the time I tell you, right? Don't move around this thing, because I think people's focus will be distracted when I'm speaking. I think let's do that. So what happens here is that in the import data, you can inform every department that, look, we have an anniversary date is coming. Every department can have their login into their department. Either they can directly log in every day, every week, every month, whatever frequency they want to do it, or they can directly upload the Excel they had in the APQR Smart itself, so that they don't have to email to the person who is preparing the APQR and they have to do it. Now, obviously, there is a flexibility that if you want to keep the system where each department sends the Excel sheet, they can also do it. But then the person who is generating APQR report, they can uh, uh, upload the Excel sheets there also. So that is two ways. One is respective department can upload their Excel sheets, or they can send the Excel sheet and the team member here can easily upload the Excel sheets and every parameter is picked up there. You can download the template and you can start filling that, or you can have your own Excel and then we can upload it. So that is as far as so these are the formats which are there. All the parameters you can just keep on feeding. There is a template, or we can also map it as per your template. Yeah, so this is the Excel sheet, and respective teams can feed the respective data from batch records or in-process quality control and everything. Once that is done, there is also a step for APQR data capture. So there are some places where you have obviously Excel sheets, but there are some places you want to input data directly. So there is also a flexibility of three levels flexibility. One is you can upload any of your file, Excel file or anything, and then you can capture that data. Another flexibility is that you can directly feed data in the APQR Smart itself. So you don't have to first put that into Excel sheet and then import it into the APQR Smart. You can directly, because this is a web-based software, so everyone will have internet in their computer. They can start feeding the data directly into the APQR Smart. So it takes away all the email chain follow-ups and all those things. Third is, which is a very interesting part, and which is, I believe, is the game changer for the APQR generation, is that the biggest time consuming process, as we understand, is that there are manual BMRs or manual data points in the, let's say, COAs or in process control certificate of analysis, which is manually printed or etc. And you have to go through every page of the BMR, take out all the data, and then you have to feed into the Excel sheet. So here, because we have developed one other product called Batch Smart, we have developed this digital technology which can read through manual paper-based records. So you can also upload, let's say, for example, out of your 200-page BMR, let's say there are 10 parameters you want to extract from the BMR, which is manually, and you don't want to read and add and everything. What you have to do just is that select those pages and just upload it here, right? And what it will do is that it will read through those parameters and it will extract the manually filled data points, and which is my colleague is right now showing as we speak. And you can imagine, you can see here that we have given some demo kind of a thing, and this is, if for any format can be there. So basically on a left hand side, let's say these are the parameters which are there, which you may want to take into your APQR, and on right hand side it has extracted manually filled data. And obviously you can, of course, you can manually check it and see that it has been correctly extracted or not. But you can imagine you have 300 pages, you select 15 pages out of it, and you just upload it into this. You scan it and upload it, and the technology within few seconds or few minutes, it will extract all the data points and it will feed into the APQR Smart. So you imagine if you have 100 batches manufactured in past 1 year for a specific product, and you have, let's say, 10 or 15 parameters you have to pick it up from the BMR, right? So you are talking about maybe 15 pages multiplied by 100 batches across a year. So you're talking about 1500 parameters to be picked up manually by flipping through the pages. And you imagine potentiality of errors in transcribing from a physical copy to your Excel sheet, typing it and saving it. Whereas here, you have to just scan those, upload it here, all those 1500 pages, and then you can check it that, okay, out of those 1500, 15 pages per batch, if not all parameters per page is important, you can always disable that, okay, I want only these 5 parameters from this page to be reflected in my APQR. So what you do is that you can skip, and therefore you will have only those parameters which you want in the APQR to be done. Now you imagine, as I understand, the team members will be taking maybe 3 to 4 weeks, all the SKUs, all the pages, take out all the data from a manually and doing that. And with this workload can be, I believe, can be reduced by almost 80-90% of the time. And this process can be completed maybe in few days or a week compared to maybe few weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. So this is something which is phenomenal, and I would say a game changer for those who are developing APQR, and it can reduce number of manpower is needed. It can reduce the errors which are being done, etc. So this is how you input the data in any frequency you want to do it, daily, weekly, and it will data would be there so that you don't have to wait till that. Same way, you can also, for annual report also, you can capture the data. Let's say in your annual report, you want different set of data. Same way, you upload your data for annual report so that your annual report is generated quickly, right? So this is how all your annual report data you can generate. Same way, you can directly feed it into it. You can import the data here, and then it will be picked up. We also are providing, and this is APQR Smart is one unique solution, because there are some, as I understand, there are some solutions in the market, but they only can be useful in a digital world if you have all the other systems which are digital. For example, if you have a MES, or you have a LIMS, or you have EQMS, or if you have a EBMR, then only you are able to manage this. Whereas possibly APQR Smart is the only unique solution where it is irrespective of your digital maturity in the organization. Whether you may have a LIMS, but you may not have a TrackWise or EQMS. You may not have a EBMR, or you may not have a MES, but you have a lot of things which are manual in nature. So you have all the functionalities possible, that wherever there is a digital system already in place, like you can connect directly with the APQR Smart. So there are external connectors with the LIMS or SAP or EQMS or a TrackWise or a Minitab, which is already possible here. So that you don't have to feed the data which is already in the system. So you can imagine in future also, currently you may have a LIMS, you may not have a LIMS, but in future you want to incorporate a LIMS. Again, you don't have to change anything. You just connect with the APQR Smart, and then the whole process of manually uploading the in-process control, COS and everything is stopped, and then data is extracted directly from the LIMS. So this is what is the main function of the data inputs, right? Which is obviously it is important and it is required to be done in any process. But the biggest advantage is that first and foremost is that every department can do it in their function itself. They don't have to send the data to centralized team and they have to collate and everything. So you imagine how much crisscrossing of emails, follow-ups, and data exchange is avoided, if at all that is the system you want to follow. Second is that there are multiple flexibilities which system provides. You can upload, you can directly feed data, you can scan and upload, which completely avoids even transcribing from the physical copy to Excel and Excel to Minitab and Minitab to different things, right? So this is the input stage. First stage, as I told, going back to configuration, this is a once in a lifetime stage. It doesn't require to be done again in your organization. It is once in a lifetime. You decide, you configure, and it is done. Where you have defined what is your APQR report looks like, what all inputs you want to have. So it is like creating a skeleton, creating a master batch record if you are talking about BMR. Second stage is the input stage, where you input your data as and when anniversary date comes, or you want to do it on a regular basis. Every department can choose as per their frequency. Let's say a stability function may want to upload as and when they want to do it, and a production team wants to upload BMR reviews every month. They can do it accordingly, and this is possible. Then you can, if you want to review the statistical analysis before you generate the APQR, because maybe quality organization wants to see, let me see the data. How does it look like? So it is more of a preview phase that, okay, let me look at this data. Let me see my, let's say API particle size or anything. How does it look like? And you say that, okay, let me look at this API, and you can calculate your any formula and look at whether how my API. So this is mainly for a quality analysis and for quality review meetings which you may be having, right? So it will tell you how many OS counts are there, which Nelson rules are. Let's say OOT also you can look at it, right? So you can look at OOTs, you can look at OSs, you can check any Nelson rules which are broken. So you can always see that, okay, is there any violation of the Nelson rule? You can see the charts, you can view different charts, right? This is a completely preview phase, right? So you can see the chart, you can see CWOT chart, or you can see donut, or any of the chart, you can look at it. And so that is what another thing which is functionality, that it is not only for generating APQR remote, it is a quality organization's friend, that they want to keep on looking at some of the things even in between. They can do it in any manner whatsoever. So this is the review phase. And the last but not the least, if you go back to yeah, these are the all the data and everything. I think um, yeah, all the batch data and everything. And then finally, as I had in the beginning showed, the APQR report phase, where what you do is that you generate a new report. There is already all the sections are listed down there. You have already configured this report in the beginning and saved, which is the functionality which we are incorporating, so that you don't have to every time configure a report. A solid oral dosage form APQR will look like this. An injectable APQR looks like this. These are the insights I want to incorporate. So everything is configured here. And same way, you can see this is the AI summary, right? So for example, in CPP review, critical process parameter review, you can choose any, let's say, blender feed volume parameter. You want to look at AI summary, and you can put any additional kind of instruction that give me summary and any violations, right? For example, and AI will go through all the data which you have uploaded or your team members have uploaded, and in a fraction of the time which you would take otherwise to analyze, it has gone through all data and it has generated the whole analytics. And then this you can directly copy into the APQR report, right? And there are graphs and everything which is there. Another thing, as a team members, you can also look at is that APQR discrepancy report, right? So basically, if you want to look at that, okay, in my APQR report, what are the discrepancies which are there, which I should be wary of, and not I should be surprised at the time of inspection. Obviously, it is not the case. You always look at it. But if you want to have a quick look at this rather than, then you can easily do that in a click of a button, and then it will show you all the discrepancies. If you see on the top, there are discrepancies, right? OS, OT, kappa, deviations, CPK warnings, stability risk, equipment status, regulatory review, environmental monitoring, rejection recalls. And again, organization can decide these are the main headings which we have identified. And if you want to modify that, we can always help the companies to modify. So you can imagine, you can look at all your data points which are having any kind of discrepancy and review that and be aware of that while you are preparing APQR rather than going through the reports and trying to find out all those things. And same way you do that, yeah, these are the deviations, and same way you do it as a annual report as well. So it is identical process, APQR report process. You select that. If there are any changes which you need to notify to FDA or any regulatory authorities, you configure that and you just supply that. It extracts the data from respective fields and that will be done. So all in all, we believe that APQR Smart gives excellent functionality. It takes away requirement of some of the other tools which you may be required to do it, like Excel formulas, generating graph there, generating any other analytics there like CPK, etc. It avoids the requirement of even Minitab subscription itself, which is also possible. From a management side, there is a complete process flow also you can define that, okay, in our organization, we want to have APQR approval going from X to Y to Z. So you can configure this whole APQR flow. You can assign users and roles. So, you can give rights for various departments and add a role that, they can either view, they can add, they can update, they can delete, they can approve. So this is possible. It is completely, obviously, there will be an audit trail which is going to be there. There is also right? So this is the complete audit trail. Anyone who has changed here, it will be completely captured with the timestamp so that there is a complete traceability of any changes which has been done. And last but not the least, obviously, it is a password protected with the individual sign-ons requirements. So all in all, again, going back to what I said in the beginning, is that APQR Smart is a tool which we have developed to facilitate the organizations on two fronts. One is how the thousands of man hours can be saved. So that is the first of all time saving and therefore resource saving and number of people requirement, expert people requirement, all those things. Because as organization grows, sometimes there are not enough trained people available who can keep on doing this. So that is one part. Second part is, of course, the analytics part, right? That it gives, first of all, human error avoidance processes wherein you are able to avoid multiple manual phases where there are chances of human errors coming in. So the more you make it less and less people gets involved into the whole thing, better accuracy is obtained. Next is also the AI summary and trending analysis, so that we don't spend a lot of time because it is highly subjective. The person who is doing the trending analysis, if he leaves and there is another person comes, their expertise and their analytics ability is very different than the person who was earlier. And therefore, you can imagine that someone was there for 2 years. There is a different level of trending analytics and everything is given. He leaves, there is a new person comes in, and therefore the APQR report looks different in terms of the analytics being generated. So and the accuracy level, the time saving, etc. So this is where we believe that this can really help pharmaceutical companies focus where they should be focusing more, which is manufacturing high quality product and ensure quality compliance rather than wasting time into administrative processes which are like APQR Smart, which is not administrative process per se as a report, which is most important aspect of a product. But to compile the report, there are so many unwanted activities which pharmaceutical company quality associates requires to do it. If we are able to squeeze that, then they have a lot of more time at hand to do more value added activities. So we believe this would be a great help to all of you, and we would be happy to conduct demos, a dedicated demo for your broader team members, if at all you and your company feels that this may be useful, and would be really happy to take you through uh, in detail for all functionalities and also explain in your organization environment how this can be adjusted because every organization will have their own process to follow. So with this, I will pause here and uh, if you have any questions, Malo, we can answer questions, right? They have to write in the chat, or how does it happen?
Yes, there are two questions from Mr. Gaurav.
Yeah.
First question is file-based integration is possible?
So as I explained, right, that all the manually written files you can easily upload, and then it will extract the manually filled data. If it is typed version, definitely it will be easily be uploaded, but it will not. If you have, let's say, 20 pages of the file, which is a PDF file, you can upload the whole file and it can also go through the whole pages, but then you will have to exclude all the pages which are not relevant. But otherwise, let's say for in our batch smart solution, there are 300 pages of the BMR, and our clients, they just upload 300 pages and it picks up all the data points from all 300 pages in the sequence. So it is possible, but in since in APQR not all 300 pages are required, so what happens is that then you will have to remove or select those parameters only which are required to be used in the APQR. I hope it answers your question. Another thing is, in addition,
One more.
how data
Yes.
security will be measured while using AI model. In addition to this, how qualification of the platform integrated with the AI will be handled. So there are 2 points I will respond here, right? So basically, one part is that this is a facilitation tool, right? So what we are not saying that it you completely replace humans with APQR Smart. This is a facilitation tool, and therefore, once it is the APQR report is generated, right? We expect, because if you have, for example, wrong data feed in the Excel sheets, or if you have a wrong page which has been uploaded or it is not been properly uploaded the data, obviously there will be error. So what we are saying is that we are squeezing the manual efforts and capturing the data. Now, if this Excel upload is assured, yes, it is assured. But what we are recommending is that you have this APQR Smart to generate the report, and then you glance through it, you go through the whole data points, have a review by exception to make sure that your data which you have captured is correctly captured. And regarding data security, of
Yeah.
course, it is important. Generally speaking, all the AI, what we are using it, these are all large language models. They have their own DPDP, that is the data privacy protocols which are incorporated, and therefore we also follow the same thing, and therefore this privacy is always maintained. And all the data which you will be uploading, right? Just to tell you, it will be in your own server or it can be in your own cloud. So you don't have to, I mean, AI for pharma does not come into picture. We have different models. It can be offsite model where we have an agreement with the cloud and we have our software in the cloud and the LLM subscription. But you can also have everything which is your organization's agreement with the LLM and also cloud or even a physical server. So this is how it is assured. But for sure, one thing is very clear that the AI, what you are having, if you try to download, the on-site version of the LLMs are not so accurate, right? So basically, what happens is that you need to buy GPUs to run those on-site versions, if at all it is possible, and therefore only for AI, for analytics it goes there, but the data doesn't sit there. It just processes and it comes back to you. So it doesn't go there, and they give assurances that they are not going to use this data for any purpose. Would be happy to answer any other questions someone has. Please type on the chat Q&A segment, and we can address it, or we can always answer one-on-one. If you have a question, we can organize a demo, and we can also engage into Q&A in one-on-one basis also, if you feel so. So apparently, it looks like we are not seeing any other questions popping through. So maybe we'll give back, 12 minutes back to all of you. But what we would like to say is that sincere thanks from all of us from AI for Pharma. We believe that this tool is amazing tool, and we are adding more and more functionalities as we speak into the APQR Smart. As we say, there are software has this concept of, right, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and therefore any company who works with us, they will always be getting advantage of any upgraded version of the APQR Smart as we speak. So we look forward to serving pharmaceutical industry and all of you in your endeavor to keep on generating great quality of products and reduce time into administrative efforts by helping you with this kind of tools. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your presence and time. So we'll close the call now. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Amish.